If you are looking for a backend JavaScript engineer and you don't know where to start, what kind of keywords to use, then watch this upcoming screen share video so that you know what I did when I was looking for a backend JavaScript engineer for one of my clients.
Backend JavaScript engineer. Like we had full stack engineers, we had backend Python engineers, we were analyzing backend C#, backend whatever, but not really backend JavaScript engineers. And this position is from Romania remotely. So I guess those of you who are in Romania will be in a little advantage. Juliana is not here. No, I was just on a call with her a while ago. So she was talking about her talent pool. By the way, we recorded the interview, so I will release it also inside the Academy and on YouTube, so you can check it out. Juliana was sharing her insights about IT recruitment, like how does she source candidates, what different channels she uses, like really step by step. She's submitting lots of candidates, so I thought it would be interesting to ask her how she does it. So she was very open to share some of the insights. So once it goes through the post-production, I'll share it with you guys, and you can see what she does and how. I will not tell you too much about it, so you can look forward to it. But anyway, so I'll also open up the mind map, which is highlighting the IT positions as a reminder. Opa, another one here. As a reminder to where we are at with this particular position. Oh my, this is the one with lots of doodles around. So we are looking at software engineers, backend developers today, and specifically those who use JavaScript on the backend. So as you can see, Node.js will be one of the major keywords, and we will probably brainstorm some more keywords, because it's not just Node.js. It could be Express.js. It could be what else? Some of the backend other technologies like cloud technologies, databases, AWS, etc. So we will dive deeper, and probably even some testing frameworks. What we could also do is look at the different titles that these IT professionals may have, because we can start with something really obvious like backend JavaScript developer, but soon we will just not have enough candidates. So we will cover. Oh, Juliana joined. Juliana, I was just talking about your talent pool in Romania. This is a position in Romania, as you can see. And I already mentioned what a wonderful interview we recorded. So everyone is super excited. At least, that's what I think. I have no idea if they really are, but but hopefully they are. So anyway, moving on to this job opening. What I would highlight is the must-have skills to start with. Usually, it's just 3-4 must-have skills. In this case, because the team is based in the UK, strong English is a must. Otherwise, it would be quite difficult for the developer to interact with the founding team. And the team is fairly small. We are talking about 8 people, 6-8 people in total. So the candidate needs to be fluent in English and comfortable speaking with local native speakers. JavaScript with ECMAScript 7 and more, at least 3 years professional working experience. So overall, the candidate should be more senior, not just 3 years after school, say 4, 5, 6 years and more, but at least the last 3 years to work with JavaScript professionally, developing APIs with Node.js or Express. Basic AWS knowledge, just because they don't really have any DevOps engineer on the team. So while they already have the DevOps environment set up, they already have the cloud and everything up and running, they have like 20,000 customers. So it's not like they are starting on a greenfield, but still there is no one to take care of it. Just the developer would also just need to be able to tweak some settings if needed. So the knowledge of AWS is a must in this case. And then there is some more nice to have, like the databases, whether it is Mongo or Elasticsearch. That's nice to have. Whether the candidate uses Jest or Jasmine or Mocha or some other testing tool doesn't matter that much. What would be nice, and actually one of the last placements we had with this client, the candidate was super excited about the industry itself. So the candidate was interested in health tech and generally, about the industry itself. So it resonated very well with the management team. Experience working in a startup environment, that is nice to have, really. But if you think about it, the ideal candidate should have the attitude, like positive attitude towards startups, because otherwise it would be quite difficult, especially working remotely, if people are not used to this kind of disorganized environment where things are moving every now and then. The person may soon get frustrated. So I would go after people who already worked in startups. They know what to expect and they are okay with that kind of environment. So if you already have these kind of people in your database, in your talent pool, even tagged somehow, people who work in a startup or people who work in a corporate environment, that would be super cool. You could really quickly get those people, especially in Romania, Juliana. So I'm again looking your direction. I guess you are smiling now, and you already have 10 people in mind who you will submit for this position. So the screening questions also reflect who we are looking for. These screening questions are not just for candidates, but also for us, whether you guys work with us or even if you work completely standalone on similar openings. I would definitely encourage you to write down these screening questions for your openings. These usually, they are slightly different from one opening to the other, even though you could say for a backend developer, it will always be the same, but it's not really always the same. And the reason is that sometimes, for example, the team is looking for a backend JavaScript developer who has experience with AWS. Sometimes they're looking for people who have experience with startups. Sometimes they're looking for people who have experience in a particular industry. So essentially, you anyway have to customize these screening questions based on who the hiring manager is looking for. And the goal with this is to write it in a way that when you have a candidate who says like, yes, then essentially, this is an amazing candidate and has very high chance of being hired. So it's worth investing half an hour of your time hopping on a call with such candidate. You can ask these questions via LinkedIn or via email. The responses could be just yes or no, and that gives you a great idea already. So do you have at least 4 or 5 years of experience with backend or full stack web development? Yes or no? Have you used JavaScript or TypeScript? You guys know by now that TypeScript is a flavor of JavaScript. It is the more strict version of JavaScript. So people who know JavaScript, they can relatively easily learn TypeScript because it's very similar. It's slightly different syntax, a bit more strict, but otherwise very similar. And developers who know TypeScript also know JavaScript because it's very similar. It is based on JavaScript anyway. So have you used JavaScript or TypeScript for at least 3 years professionally? Yes or no? Have you used Amazon Web Services and can adjust existing CI/CD, so continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines if needed? Yes or no? Are you interested in digital health projects or health tech startups? Do you have any relevant experience in this way? Is your English good enough to communicate with native English speakers from London? Probably I should even, well, it's really hard to ask, are you confident enough to talk? But what I've noticed is people who don't have English good enough, they don't have the confidence to speak with native speakers. It could be different when they speak with someone who is not native, because then two different people both struggle with English, so it's less awkward. But when they speak with native speakers, it is a bit more difficult, especially if they have very strong accent. So at least this question, is your English good enough to communicate, or are you confident enough to communicate with native speakers from London? Are you based in Romania? You will work remotely anyway, so the candidate doesn't have to come to the office, but should be based in Romania, because the management has decided to get developers clustered in one country. So the ones that we placed before, like some front-end developer and mobile application developer, they are in different countries, and they feel like it would be beneficial at some point to have them in one country, which I don't know. I'm not really convinced about that, but that's what they decided. So let's just give them who they want. So people who are in Romania. So if you really look at this, then there are lots of people out there who meet these requirements, because JavaScript is the most popular language. TypeScript, I mean, it's not really requirement. TypeScript, it's a nice to have. Node.js, well, everyone who uses JavaScript on the backend is aware of Node.js. Amazon Web Services is the most popular cloud these days. A lot of people speak English, so I mean, there should be thousands of developers in Romania who meet these requirements. Not that many of them are interested in digital health or health tech startups. Not many of them have English like really on a level where they can interact with native speakers. So let's see. But anyway, there are people. So let's go find them, right? So what do we do? How do we even start? Well, I like to start just thinking with regards to titles. So what are the different titles these IT professionals may have? For example, backend JavaScript engineer, or backend JavaScript developer, or backend TypeScript engineer, backend TypeScript developer, or backend engineer, simplified, or JavaScript developer, TypeScript engineer, software engineer. The last one is very, very broad. Coming back to the mind map, software engineer is the parent node, the one that encapsulates all the other IT professionals inside. Even backend developer is very broad, because a backend developer could be someone who uses Python, C#, JavaScript. So a lot of these backend programming languages, but we can zoom in to go only after backend JavaScript developers. Okay, so essentially we start with the most tailored role, or the most detailed, so to speak, and then we expand to more wider title. The skills, again, we should focus on those that are most relevant to what do these professionals use at work. It is Node.js, and don't forget about the different variations, Node.js with dot, without dot, or just Node. Same with Express.js. It could be with dot, without dot, or it could just be Express. Amazon Web Services could appear on candidates' profiles as the abbreviation AWS, or also as the full name. And in that case, you need to use quotes, right? Amazon Web Services with quotes. Okay, so this is what we can start with, and then expand. We can also check if in Romania people have some different local titles. For example, what is the translation of the word developer in Romanian language? Do people have it on their profiles? If yes, then we can also use it on in our search, right? Juliana, would you add anything else? You have vast experience with sourcing candidates in Romania, so feel free to chip in. Feel free to add some very cool search filters just in chat. I'll open it up, and I will open up also Notepad so we can take notes and get some candidates. Please solve CAPTCHA. Oh, I'm not a robot. Taxi. Which one is taxi? 1, 2, 3. Verify. Submit. It works. Nice. All right. So let's look again at this list. Backend software engineer. I would probably skip the software engineer for now because it's very broad. It is way too generic. Backend engineer is quite generic as well. We could leave it for later. I would start with backend JavaScript developer engineer, or just JavaScript developer engineer, or TypeScript developer or engineer. So we can come up with all these different variations. And by the way, now when I see or with lowercase, don't forget to use in Boolean search or always uppercase, because otherwise it may not work. So if you have it as a Boolean, then it should be like this. Developer or engineer or programmer. We can open up Translate and see what is the local Romanian developer in Romanian, where is it? Oh, it's here. So, dezvoltator. Oh, dezvoltator. That's an interesting word, isn't it? Dezvoltator. What about programmer? And now Juliana is probably laughing that this is not correct. Dezvoltator, but we will trust Google Translate. Programator. How about engineer? Inginer. Well, that's easier, isn't it? It's so much easier than in English. Engineer. Okay, and we can keep JavaScript or TypeScript. And JavaScript, TypeScript, and backend. We can keep, or we can have backend or full stack, because developers who use full stack, so both backend and front end, would also have experience with backend. And I've seen countless of developers who are sick and tired of front end and they want to focus solely on backend. So this could also be an opportunity to target those who have been working on the front end and are now tired of it. So backend or full stack, but sometimes people have full stack with space. So let's take it into consideration, and we can have full stack with space. And suddenly we have backend or full stack. Maybe we could include also just software. In that case, we would have, for example, software engineer, like software JavaScript engineer, or backend TypeScript engineer. So if we have it like this, then we cover all the combinations, such as backend JavaScript engineer, backend TypeScript programmer. I think all these and a lot more different variations would be covered with this search, because essentially we are telling LinkedIn, just give us people who have one of these and one of these and one of these in the title. So we would be most likely to get suitable candidates if we start with those who have the title currently, and then we would expand to those who don't have it right now, but had it somewhere in the past, like a year ago, 2 years, 5 years ago. So we would see those profiles. Okay, so let me open it up in this test project on LinkedIn, and we will see who we'll get. Backend JavaScript, backend programmer. Location not France, but what is it? Romania. It doesn't even have to be Bucharest. It could be any city. It could be any village in Romania, as long as it is in Romania. Which now, when we think about it, since they want to create a cluster, probably at some point they will want to cluster people in Bucharest. But for now, they just said Romania. So, well, let's start with broad Romania. And we can clear keywords. Experience we will clear, and job titles as well. So we can create one long search filter, add the job title, backend or full stack, 416 people in Romania who have it, and we can only focus on those who have it currently. So if we have 100, 200 people, that would be awesome. 75, that's great. So this is the most targeted filter, right? We don't really, for now, well, we could have seniority at least 4 or 5 years. Let's have years of experience, at least 4 or 5. What was on the JD? Do you guys remember? 4 or 5. So then let's have 4. Up to 30 would probably be a bit too expensive, but yeah, let's just not exclude. Let's be inclusive. Let's not discriminate anyone. So we have 60 people. Not that many, of course, but remember that this is the most targeted approach, the laser kind of focus approach. So we would have, for the first, we would have currently, so I'll change it slightly. So title now, we have 75 people, no, 59. And then we could try title past to see how many are there. So it would be 322. 322 with the same title. We don't have any keywords. We don't need them for now. And actually, this guy is quite strange, isn't it? It's a DevOps engineer. Let's open it. Oh, well, because it's past title. Okay, so he was a backend developer, and then he shifted to DevOps engineering. So that would not be a good fit. But you can at least use a software engineer, but also QA, software engineer, quality assurance engineer, but must be somewhere the developer, software engineer, JavaScript developer. It's probably found this. But not a good fit, of course, for now, because he shifted from web development to DevOps engineering. So that's why it is better to start with those who have this title currently, because they will be more likely to be a good fit right now. So 59 people, senior JavaScript, full stack engineer. I'm a full stack engineer, software developer, 7 years experience, nice. Reporting, programming. JavaScript. Like looks okay, Could be a bit, well, actually they are looking for mid to senior candidate. So maybe this guy will be even more senior, 7 years, JavaScript, TypeScript, React. No, what you could do essentially when you see something like this, just take this and copy it as an inspiration for your next search, because we see JavaScript, we already used it. We see TypeScript, we already used it. What about React? We haven't used React because we are looking for a backend developer. Node.js, yes. And as you can see, in this case, it is with just together, the two, what is it? Like without the dot in the middle. Next.js, we don't really need. Redux, no. Zustand, I don't know what is. GraphQL, they don't use. REST, Webpack, Redis, Socket.io, Jest. Well, Jest they mentioned as well on the job description, the testing framework. It could also be Mocha or Chai, those testing frameworks, Selenium, Enzyme as well, Stealth Components, Framer, Cognito, Amplify, Firebase, MongoDB. Well, MongoDB probably we could use as well because the team also uses MongoDB. Postgres, Docker, well, Docker, Kubernetes, a lot of people use these days anyway. AWS we use. So, I mean, great list, right? Great laundry list of all the keywords. We could still include these to our search, right? So in any case, when you see a wonderful list like this, then take it and go through. If you don't know some of these keywords, then just Google, like what is Mongoose? Just double click and open up a new word, new tab to see what does this word mean, and then move on to something else. So JavaScript engineer, that's a decent profile, a lot of description of what he was working with, the technical stack and everything. That's very well written, very thoughtful. He has it nicely structured, describes his responsibilities, skills, the stack he worked with. That's pretty cool. This is awesome. I mean, yeah, that's very cool. So implementing clean, maintainable, scalable apps. So it would be definitely worth sending him a message. So yeah, let's just copy his URL. Yeah. Wow. Copy link. So someone like him, like ideally 10 more, 20 more people like him. Let's just send a dozen messages to people like Samuel, and off we go. Django React developer. Probably not, right? Probably not. But how come? Aha, because he has Django with Python on the backend and JavaScript with React on the front end. So this would probably not be the best fit. He specializes in Python on the backend. Did something with C++. Not really. Python, JavaScript engineer, not really. Similar profile, senior Python developer. Well, these actually guys could be a good fit for another opening. Similar, similar to these profiles. They are looking for similar Python developers. Senior consultancy, what is it? Full stack JavaScript developer. Full stack applications, developing backend, TypeScript. Development team leader. That's a nice profile as well. This guy works with backend, but not for that long. Oh, probably with full stack on the backend as well. Backend at Amazon, full stack, but it's quite frequently changing jobs. If you just look at this timeline, 2020, which was 2 years ago. So that's another job. So 2 jobs in parallel, another job, from 2020, another job. That's a bit strange, isn't it? Sergio, over 8 years experience in software engineering, passionate about JavaScript, TypeScript. You can again probably copy some keywords. But just CI/CD is a new one that we haven't seen before. Using Node.js, React, TypeScript. He's more of a full stack developer. And we are looking just for a backend developer. What we potentially could do now when I'm thinking about, maybe this full stack is just doing more harm than good. So we could try just removing it, and we could focus just on people who really have just backend in the title. Let's try it. Okay, one person, not too many, right? So we could try current or past. Backend, PHP developer. So if we don't have that many, what we could do, because essentially this word backend probably does a bit harm here. There are not that many people who have it, but at the same time, we don't want to have the full stack keyword. So how about we try it from a different angle? We can exclude full stack and exclude full stack with space, and we just keep JavaScript or TypeScript, engineer, programmer, developer. Let's see. We don't want to see full stack developers. So if someone just has, for example, JavaScript developer, that would be okay. You see, suddenly we have 638 profiles. That's awesome. We can check what do they have on their profiles. Like, how come suddenly so many? Exactly, that's what I thought. JavaScript engineer. So our search previously we had, for example, JavaScript engineers, but we also were hoping that they have backend or software, but they don't. A lot of people don't, as you can see. They just have JavaScript engineer or TypeScript engineer or nothing, or just engineer, probably software engineer. So what we could do is maybe consider even adding software to it. No, probably not. Like 600 is not that many. Software engineer, because also, you know, if we have only 12 candidates, then we will go through them really quick. So we need to have some search which has like, I don't know, 200, 300, 500 results. And what we could do is to split the years of experience, because essentially someone who has 15 years of experience would most likely be overqualified anyway. So we can focus on people between 4 and 8 years of experience. They would not have that high salary expectations. And with this, we have beautiful 268 results, which I really like, you know, somewhere between 200 and 400. That's awesome. So we can, you know, the reason is that we can go through them relatively quickly. You can go through 200 profiles just by clicking this arrow really quick, and you can find people even faster than coming up with some overly elaborate Boolean strings. Especially when you see that someone worked with Java, not a good profile, just hide and move on to someone else. Software engineer, front-end developer, 7 developers. He uses JavaScript. No. PHP developer, not really. Like now, after we expanded this search and we are going after people who have JavaScript developer in the past, we can also see that some people shifted their focus to another technical stacks. For example, this developer used JavaScript 5 years ago and then shifted to PHP. Symfony is used with PHP. So shifted to PHP, even if it is not written here, but we can just somehow read between the lines because we know that Symfony is used with PHP. So he shifted to PHP and then used PHP even in the other company. So not the best fit for a JavaScript backend developer, essentially. You can come to this conclusion, move on to another profile, front-end developer. Not really. What we could also do is to exclude front-end, so not full stack and also not front-end. And that way we will not have to go through profiles like Madalina, who may be a great front-end developer, but now we are looking for backend developers anyway. $200 results, nice. But current or past, we could just focus on people who have it currently to make it even more tailored, because as we've seen, some people transition to another technical stack. So senior JavaScript developer like Stanku could be potentially great. Senior JavaScript developer, backend engineer. Golang Python, so did something on the backend as a backend developer. Cool. He probably doesn't have 3 years of experience using JavaScript on the backend because he started as a JavaScript developer just here 1.5 years ago. And previously it looks like he used mostly Python, Golang. Oh no, but even Node.js is here. So then could be worth. Together it would be roughly 3 years, even more. So that's great. So someone like him could be also a good fit. I'll copy this link elsewhere. And let's see if we can find someone even more straightforward. Full stack developer, JavaScript engineer, 3 years. So this could be an interesting profile. He doesn't have, well, he has borderline 4 years of experience. This is 4 years, 4.5, and we are looking for someone at least 4 to 5 years. So he's just in the middle of this. So that's okay. He uses JavaScript, React. But let's find someone who is like really backend developer. I'm still not 100% satisfied with this because I would really like to find someone who looks like a backend JavaScript engineer. So what we also could do is just to go after people who have like backend in the title and then have keywords that indicate JavaScript, TypeScript, Node.js, Express. So let's see if we would be able to come up with a slightly different strategy, because we can obviously go through these profiles and we would find great developers. There is no doubt about it. They are hidden in this search. Like this JavaScript developer, for example, 2 years using Node.js, but he also uses React on the front end. He did more front-end development in the past. So how about we try just backend or backend, and the title, I mean, the keywords will be JavaScript or TypeScript. So let's try something simple as this. And you see how much fun is sourcing, right? You can find developers with different approaches. Some of them are a bit more complicated. Some of them are more straightforward. So let's see. Now we have, as you can see, we have Java developers, and we don't want to see them in results. It will just take too much time to go through. So let's see if we can exclude them somehow. And we could exclude them from titles by just adjusting the title to be like not Java, as an example, in the title. So let's see, Christian, backend engineer at Bolt, but we don't know if he uses JavaScript or TypeScript. It's not really clear, but let's see if we can gauge it somehow from skills. But if he has a mix of different programming languages in skills, then we cannot really be sure. Node.js, JavaScript, Django also, there will be Python, yes. PHP, so he has quite a lot of different programming languages. So, I mean, we could ask him definitely. But yeah, look, I worked with Zend, PHP. So not really. Let's continue. Let's find some other, even nicer profile. Backend developer. And this is quite interesting. Now we see it with the dash, right? It's also because I included this version here with space or dash. So if we were only looking for the one word backend, then we would probably not find him. So backend developer last year, freelance, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. And what does he work with? JavaScript. Okay. And C# as well. It's quite likely that he uses C#. This probably says in Romanian that he focuses on developing with C#, which most likely will be the case. And I mean, probably that's why it's so hard to find these backend JavaScript developers, because JavaScript can be used on the front end as well, right? So a lot of people may have the keyword JavaScript or TypeScript on their profiles while they don't use it on the backend. Skills, JavaScript, and he's backend developer. I'm responsible for implementing functional flows, back office. I use JavaScript. Cool. So this is great. He creates and integrates APIs. Interrogate, that's some other word. Ask questions closely. So he probably meant integrate. Junior front-end developer. So he would use JavaScript with React since 2018, which means like 3-4 years experience. And he shifted to backend. He's been here for the last 3 years. So it's just about the time to change. I mean, this is probably the best profile we've seen so far. Someone who is not too far in his career. He just graduated 3-4 years ago. So his salary expectations would not be so elevated. So that is actually quite cool. Like we were looking at lots of profiles. Some of them were like not a fit at all. Some of them were borderline okay. Some of them we could ask what technologies they use. But with this guy, I'm really satisfied, because we just look at his profile and we see that this is the backend developer we were looking for. He positions himself as a backend developer. He writes about JavaScript that he uses on the backend. He mentions that he creates APIs. So great, like really cool. Finally, someone who feels like a good fit, right? That's good. He used JavaScript before. Okay, so now what do we write him? Or her actually? That's Alina. I'm always talking about him, and that's her. Oh my goodness! Like if she heard us, hopefully she will not be listening to this episode of the sourcing webinar. That would be a faux pas, right? So she wrote, she's aiming to become a great leader, inspire, motivate people. She posts her heart to work, dedicated, open-minded. Well, this is nice. We could use some of this to get in touch with her. So let's try. Let me write something that could possibly resonate. Hi, Alina. You seem to be the kind of person who puts all her heart, or all their heart, all the heart into work. Well, you know, I'm trying to find the bridge between her current situation and the company, which provides the health tech solution. They help the care houses or care homes to be more efficient, which could be a nice way to work on something meaningful. So how do I write it? And I'm working with an engineering team that puts their heart to building a health tech solution in London. They create a platform for care homes to provide better care for elderly and disabled people. They just recently fundraised and would like to, well, that's super boring, right? They just fundraised and are looking for someone new. Let's try something else. They have about 20,000 users and want to and onboard new ones as we speak, which comes with additional challenges and needs to integrate more services. As they fundraised, thus they'd need some help. And when I saw your profile, I thought you could be a great fit to the backend JavaScript, TypeScript position. Would you like to learn more? Let me know. Subject. I'm dedicated, open-minded, and continuously looking for ways to self-improve. Self-improve with, how do we write it? Self-improve with, what could we write? Self-improve at health tech, digital tech. Self-improve That just doesn't make sense. Let's try something else. Create and search functionalities. No, that's boring. What could be something that would get her interest? He's aiming to become a great leader. Well done. Become a great leader. Now I need to slightly tweak the text. You could be a great fit to the senior backend TypeScript position, and you could even become a great leader over time. Now it makes sense, right? Become a great leader, and you could even become a great leader over time. Well, anyway, it will probably resonate with her because it touches a few aspects of her attitude or something that she's passionate or thinking about. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, so this is the message. I'll post it in chat. If you guys have any ideas how to improve it, then let me know. In 5 seconds, I'll hit the send button, and then it will be sent forever until she responds. Actually, quite a lot of people respond to these messages that I come up with during the sourcing webinars. I know it takes time, but the good news is that if you send 50 of them, then you just take this part and copy from one to the other. You only customize the first sentence. What we do during the webinar is most time consuming, of course, to come up with everything from scratch. So anyway, no suggestion on how to improve it. So I'm sending it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send. Awesome. So let's see. Otherwise, you guys feel free to send a message to anyone else, even to Alina. Sometimes candidates need 2, 3 messages from different people. She may be on a vacation. She doesn't respond to me. Maybe next week she'll respond to some of you. So feel free to message candidates. The opening is on the web, so you can check it out. If you guys work with us, then awesome. If not yet, you can just go to recruitinstantly.com/vendors and you can join us. And where's the link? It's here. Check it out. Fill in the form that you will find here, and we will talk, or you will talk with Philippos, and we will take it from there.
If you'd like to learn more about how to start recruiting IT candidates for international clients, how to get into the IT industry, and how to start working for international clients 100% remotely, then join the Tech Recruitment Academy. We've been helping people just like you to get into the IT industry, become confident recruiters, and make more money in this IT recruiting industry. So join the Tech Recruitment Academy, and I hope to see you inside some of our live training sessions.